Geoff Bodine will come across the start-finish line to pick up the victory for Rick Hendrick and that all-star racing team.
White flag, 1 left to go. There it is. Down to the final lap. 12 different winners this year. Bodine has already collected 2. This will be the biggest one of all for Geoff Bodine. He'll have a new look on his car in 1985 when we see him at Daytona International Speedway. Second place car is the number 27. It is Tim Richmond in the second position. Here's Bodine trying to hold on for the win. Just coming off turn 6, Richmond just entering it. Labonte third, Elliott fourth, Parsons fifth. Been some scramble, dramatic all afternoon. The lead has changed time and time again. 13 lead changes between 7 drivers today. Last lap for Geoff Bodine. The Hendrick crew hoping that it's all going to finish for them. He is in 9th position in the standings. He will hold off Ron Bouchard. That's going to make a major difference in point money for him as they come down to decide it. Terry Labonte on his way to winning the championship. Last lap, last time for Bodine. What a surprise. What a comeback for Geoff Bodine today. Checkered flag ready to fall. And the winner of the Winston Western 500 today at Riverside, California, is Geoff Bodine. Coming down, white flag is out. Geoff Bodine into his final lap. Just praying, and we listen now as that car goes into turn number 1 for a burp, anything from that motor that might spell disaster for Bodine. Remember, looking 13 seconds back now, Terry Labonte. From the in-car camera, you may see Geoff Bodine win the Daytona 500. You may be riding with him. He's in the back straightaway. What a sensation, Ned. That's his fuel gauge. His fuel gauge is the one on the right. See that little gauge that's flickering on the right-hand side of the dashboard with the F under it? I'm sure that's probably his fuel gauge, pressure gauge, which at the moment doesn't seem to see it flickering there.
It is definitely flickering when it goes into the turn.
And it goes into the turn. He's getting mighty close. See, the needle's going down now. You're riding down for the finish. Checkered flag is out, and you are with Geoff Bodine as he wins the 1986 Daytona 500.
Trouble in turn 1. That's Buddy Arrington's car from Martinsville, Virginia, that pirouettes to a stop down in turn 1. Arrington spins the wheels, gets it going again, gets up on the racetrack, and oh, Morgan Shepherd piles into Arrington. Harry Gant's car just obliterates the left side of Arrington's machine. It looked like Geoff Bodine may have gotten a piece of that as well. Here's the race back to the caution flag, and likely this will be for the win, as Richmond takes the caution flag well ahead of Dale Earnhardt. On the final lap, Richmond and Earnhardt must be frustrated. He can't pass under the caution, and he'll have to come around to take the checkered flag. But second place pays well, almost $30,000, and it will pay him a pile of Winston Cup points, 175 or so. So it will be a good day for Dale Earnhardt. A better day for Tim Richmond. And Harold Kinder unfurls the checkered flag for Tim Richmond, and they're awfully happy in the Folgers pit.
Right now, Richmond looks like he's well on his way to winning for the first time in Daytona as he gets the white flag. 1 lap to go.
Yes, but things aren't that secure. Did you notice him slide coming off that last turn? In other words, he is running it right on the limit, cutting across in front of the others down that back straight. It's a move very reminiscent of Neil Bonnet in his prime, trying to make sure that nobody follows him. Right now, Allison is following him, might be able to slipstream past. It doesn't matter. Allison not in a position to win a lap back, and in fact, Allison looking gentlemanly to me, not actually making a bid on Richmond. Richmond looking good.
No one seems to be emerging from the pack for a last-minute challenge. Richmond into the tri-oval. Richmond across the finish line. The checkered flag to win the 28th running of the Firecracker 400.
lots of room. If that were the checker, it would have been Bodine by a foot, but it's not. There's a lap to go. Down into turn one. Richmond to the inside. Bodine is stuck in the high groove. He'll have to give up the lead here.
Those two cars side by side are giving Ricky Rudd and Darrell Waltrip a shot as those cars now bob and weave back and forth. Bodine trying to find his way back around his teammate Tim Richmond.
Richmond came up high and closed the outside lane to Bodine. Bodine looks to the inside now at turn number 2. You can bet that Richmond will be hugging the curbing at the bottom of the corner. Here's Bodine, as low as he can possibly get and not be in the grass. He's alongside. Richmond is stuck to the outside this time. Bodine has the favored line as they come down the short chute into turn number 3. Ricky Rudd just out of your picture. He may be a factor as this one comes off turn 3. This is the final corner. They'll head for the start-finish line, a drag race off the corner. Rudd is there. Rudd is behind Bodine. He jumps to the inside. They come across and it's too close to call.
That's got to be one of the best finishes I've ever seen in Winston Cup competition.
The Budweiser at the Glen. Here they come down the straightaway. It's a 1.15 second advantage for Tim Richmond. If Darrell Waltrip is going to make the move, he's going to have to do it soon. He goes to the inside and passes George Fulmer, a slower car. Look at Earnhardt get sideways coming off of corner number 1, but he keeps that third spot.
These guys are working here. They are working good.
Tim Richmond is pulling away, it appears, on Darrell Waltrip. Tim Richmond will be winning his 4th race of 1986, and that will be the most wins that any driver has. Coming in, Dale Earnhardt had 3 wins, Tim Richmond had 3 wins, Geoff Bodine had 2, but Tim will be all alone now in the win column should he put together this victory here this afternoon, and he has about a half a lap to go. Down the backstretch for the final time. It's still about a 1-second lead for Tim Richmond, but he's looking very, very strong. He's in corner number 7. Tim Richmond is about to win the Budweiser at the Glen. He raises his hand, comes off the 7th corner, gets a little bit sideways. The back tire's off the course, but it doesn't make any difference.
One more lap around this 1.366 mile track they call Tucson-Daytona, the Lady in Black, Darlington International Raceway. What a day it has been, with rain, with accidents, with Geoff Bodine running out of fuel, with Bill Elliott losing control and scraping the wall, giving up the lead to Tim Richmond, who is the pole sitter. Here comes Tim Richmond for the checkered flag in the Southern 500 off of turn number 4. Here he is. Tim Richmond wins the Southern 500.
Action a mile a minute. 2 laps to go, and all of that battling for second on back has allowed Tim Richmond, as you see, to pull off by some 6 or 8 car lengths. Can't be anything better for a driver to see the other guys battling behind him.
Boy, don't you know Richmond feels good right now. Looked up in the rearview mirror and saw that battle. He said, I got this baby won.
White flag being displayed by Harold Kinder. 1 lap to go for Tim Richmond.
And he just keeps pulling away. He now has a 15-car advantage over Dale Earnhardt.
The battle for second still Earnhardt, Morgan Shepherd, and Richard Petty. Neil Bonnet is in the 5th spot, but right now no one's going to touch Tim Richmond as he looks for the checkers for the 6th time this year. Tim Richmond wins the Wrangler Indigo 400.
Here it is. The last time down the straightaway. Richmond in front. There is that Bodine car, followed by Waltrip in the 4th position. Waltrip looks like he's on his way into that 2nd place in the standings. The last time into turn number 9. Tim Richmond there, Dale Earnhardt 2nd, Geoff Bodine in 3rd, Darrell Waltrip in 4th. But Tim Richmond riding just an incredible finish to this 1986 season. He's coming on to win it. It won't be enough to give him 2nd place in the standings, but it certainly will help his pocketbook. To the line, across for the checkers, Tim Richmond victorious.
Didn't work quite as well for Blackie Wrangler in the car number 39. He spins around as leader Benny Parsons goes by. There's Bobby Allison running in 2nd place. They'll go on to finish 1st and 2nd as Blackie Wrangler slips back up on the racetrack and hits the wall. And around, down on the inside, out of the way of oncoming traffic.
Here are the final standings in the second 125-mile qualifier. A big victory for Benny Parsons.
Closer for Tim Richmond, getting his name in the record book. The big winner here at Pocono. White flag.
Does Bill Elliott have enough to catch Tim Richmond? A storybook comeback for Richmond if he can hang on here.
You're right, Sid, and what a way to come back here. Setting a record right here at the Pocono Raceway. 3 in a row. 4-time winner. And he's getting closer here. He's working down the Long Pond Street.
They are about to go over the tunnel turn here at Pocono. It's still Richmond with the lead over Bill Elliott, Kyle Petty in third, and then Cale Yarborough. But it's a two-car shootout. Does Richmond have enough to hang on?
Harold Kinder now has the checkered flag in his hand, waiting for the top two, working out of turn number 3. Tim Richmond, Bill Elliott. Here comes the finish on the front, checkered. Tim Richmond waves to the fans here in victory. The Miller High Life 500 winner. And what a way to come back right here at his record-winning track, Pocono Raceway.
The white flag, symbolic of one more lap to go, and they're side by side for 1-2 for 4th position right now. Terry Labonte and Bill Elliott are testing each other as they come past our position at the start-finish line. There is the leader, Tim Richmond, and Richmond is going to win this one easily if he just keeps it between the white lines. It's like going home at night when you're really tired. Just steer between the white lines and you'll get there.
That's the main thing. He doesn't smell victory lane now, so all he's got to do is idle around. He's in good shape.
Tim Richmond. There is the Alan Kawicki car, the second running car of Ricky Rudd, and Neil Bonnet still has designs on the runner-up spot. Bonnet is bird-dogging Ricky Rudd as they sashay out of turn number 6. Richmond moving out of turn number 8, heading on to the long backstretch, moves up through the gears, stands on the throttle for the second to the last time. He's got one more time to do that, and that is coming out of turn number 9 and coming down the front stretch. Tim Richmond on the shelf for 6 months, has not had an opportunity to run in a Winston Cup race. He approaches the final turn. It's about a 270-degree radius corner. It's banked maybe 10, 15 degrees, a third of a mile around. Tim Richmond going after win number 2. When he crosses the finish line, Tim Richmond will be 2 for 2, batting 1,000 in 1987. Here comes Tim Richmond. He's a winner again.
Earnhardt continues to lead the way with 2 laps remaining. Waltrip again looks high on the turn, but there's no room. On the backstretch, Labonte fakes inside, but Earnhardt drops down to block him.
Dale was leading, Terry was second, I was third, and we come down on the last lap. And Terry tried to get by Dale on the outside, and Dale pinched Terry up in the wall. And they got a little sideways. When they did, I was coming off 2. I got down underneath Terry going into 3. Terry was mad at Dale. I'm convinced this is the way it was. Terry was going to go down and give Dale a little tap because Dale tried to put him in the wall. He went in the turn about a mile over his head. I was underneath him. I bumped him. He hit Dale. They went up the racetrack, and I come off the corner and won the race.
The surprise of the day was Bartow, Florida's Rick Wilson up in car number 4. Wilson led 106 laps before trouble struck. He crashed hard. That sent him to the sidelines and opened the door for Darrell Waltrip in the 17 and Rusty Wallace in the 27 to battle it out for the win. But in the end, Rusty couldn't get by. Darrell picked up his 4th victory in the Memorial Day Classic.
Talladega 500. Always dramatic, always exciting at the finish. Here comes Sterling Marlin on the outside.
Well, what a move. Now, can he make it stick?
Sterling Marlin hanging on, and he's with Schrader. Now Marlin dives to the inside.
Can't quite do that.
Oh, 3 gets sideways for just a moment.
And Schrader moving up on the outside. A very nice, fast move.
44 is boxed, and he had to slam it to the inside. This will double them all back up again. Schrader has the advantage. Rick Wilson goes to second. He won't give ground. It's a break for Ken Schrader. Earnhardt on the bottom, and as they run side by side, Schrader gets a little distance. Coming down for the finish for the 20th annual Talladega 500. Missouri's Ken Schrader in front. Coming back down out of turn 4 comes Earnhardt. Wilson on the outside. He wants to take one more shot. Here they come, all battling for the lead. Bodine comes back up the middle at the line. Schrader. Checkered flag is out. Incredible win for Ken Schrader in the Harry Hyde car.
Well, they're getting the white flag this time around. Davey Allison made just a little bit of a test going down the backstretch that last time to see if he could pass on the outside. We'll see if he really can do it. I don't think he'll make the move, Ken, until they start down the backstretch. We'll see now as they head into turn 1.
Okay, the dollars are down. This is it to decide the Busch Clash 1989, and you're watching Ken Schrader from Benton, Missouri, Alabama's Allison, and Texas Terry Labonte scrap it out here this afternoon.
Will the famous Cale Yarborough slingshot work on the last lap? He needs to make the move pretty quickly.
Schrader throwing a bit of a block midway down that back straightaway, now eases into 3. Here they come. Harold Kinder has checkers in hand, ready to decide the Busch Clash 89. 3 competitors are up there, out of 4 and down to the line. To the inside comes Allison. Schrader holding on. Here they come at the stripe. Kenny Schrader out of Missouri makes it 2 perfect days on the pole yesterday. For the Daytona 500, he comes back and wins the Busch Clash this afternoon. Back to the stripe. Time running down. White lab. There it is. The flag is out, and they're into the final one. Morgan Shepherd and Mark Martin. Pontiac and Ford trying to overtake the Chevrolet going into turn number 1. Gathering. Maybe coming just a little late. Look at that interval into the back straightaway. They are gaining ground.
They are gaining ground, Ken, but I don't think they have enough time to make up that difference. They've been picking up about 3/10 of a second a lap on Kenny Schrader, but they're simply running out of time.
Schrader making a very heady move 6 laps ago, coming out of turn number 2, using a couple of slower cars, is able to break the draft and streak away for a few moments, and now it seems to be paying off. Coming down to finish the first 125-mile qualifying race for 1989 at the Daytona International Speedway. It's Ken Schrader, the pole sitter, winning this event. The white flag is out, and Schrader's wife looking on.
She can't believe he can go that far on a tank of fuel that Darrell Waltrip can. He's drafting, trying to save every bit of fuel he possibly can.
In the last lap, the interval is immense. It's a question of fuel. Can Waltrip hold out?
He could have coasted now, I think.
Yeah, he's about close enough now that he could coast across the start-finish line and still win.
Out of turn 4 after 17 years of effort. The Daytona 500 belongs to Franklin, Tennessee's Darrell Waltrip. He's done it.
Two laps to go. And Michael Waltrip is spun in turn number 1. The race could end under caution, or will it?
Michael's got his car rolling. He might get out of the way. We'll see.
He drives down the banking. The car is rolling. And the NASCAR officials, yes, the NASCAR officials wave the yellow flag, and this race is going to end under caution. Here comes Waltrip to the flag, and this is going to do it. The yellow and the white flags come out simultaneously. Darrell Waltrip has won. The checkered flag hasn't waved yet, but it's all over. The Thai crew celebrates as Darrell Waltrip wins his 4th Woody's 500 in a row. Make that his 3rd in a row. Let's go to the pit area. Geoff Hammond with a comment, the crew chief on this car.
Well, Jeff, it was quite a finish. I'll tell you what, it was getting awful close. I'll tell you what, that 33 car was, I was afraid of him all day long, but, you know, he put himself in a little bit of a hole, and we only had to run when we needed to. We just tried to keep Darrell just in front of him.
White flag is coming out. White flag on Schrader. Outstanding run by Schrader. He's into his last lap. Ken Schrader holding on to take the All-Pro Auto Parts 500 for Rick Hendrick. What a year they've had on this racetrack.
What a great win for Kenny Schrader. It's just to do it here in Charlotte. He always had the Talladega jinx against him. He just won that one race, and here he comes. This is going to be the biggest win of his life. This one right here will be bigger than Talladega for Kenny Schrader.
Across the line, checkers are out. Schrader's coming home. It'll be Harry Gant in the second spot.
Here comes Ricky Rudd moving to the inside of Dale Earnhardt. He's not going to be able to pass him at the moment. Let's see what happens on the final lap of the race. Here comes the field down for the white flag. One more to go. Rudd is inside of Dale Earnhardt as they go